I'm usually alone whenever I paddle the small rivers and lakes of western Pennsylvania. I've always been fearful of dropping my paddle and used to use a paddle tether. I eventually found the tether to be a nuisance, getting tangled with other equipment, or in the way when entering or exiting the kayak. When I discarded the paddle tether, I began stowing a second full-sized paddle on the deck of the kayak. It was reassuring to have a spare paddle should I drop my main paddle into the water. But this system also had its drawbacks. I had to transport 2 paddles to the water, and the second paddle prevented easy access to the rear hatch. I searched for alternatives and found the Pelican emergency paddle. It was short, but had a blade that was much wider than a Greenland paddle. I also found a fisherman's hand paddle, but both of these were bulky, heavy, and inelegant. I had seen a rolling stick on Gearlab Outdoors website before, which they called a Pikatti. I dismissed it because the Pikatti was promoted as being used in rolling a kayak upright after capsizing. And due mostly to excuses, I'm unable to roll a kayak. I then realized the Pikatti could alternatively be used as a small paddle. I had finally found a small, portable, lightweight, and efficient way to move my kayak around if I became separated from my paddle while on the water. The Pikatti is similar in size and shape to the end of the Greenland paddle. It is easily stowed under the bungees on the front or rear deck of the kayak. This device originated as a spear thrower, also known as an atlati, usually mispronounced as atlatl, a tool that effectively lengthens your arm, increasing the leverage, allowing you to throw a spear faster and farther. Greenlanders used spear throwers while on the water to hunt seals, whales, and geese. It just makes sense that the spear thrower evolved into a dwarf paddle that allowed them to roll their kayak if their main paddle was dropped. The Pikatti is hollow and floats like a cork. At first, I used the Pikatti like a regular paddle, with the top sticking out of the water. But I soon realized you get the most bang for your buck by submerging the entire stick during the power stroke. I found that I naturally used a mixture of forward and backhand strokes. Turning the boat would be much more efficient if I could get the kayak up on edge better. But I have tippy boat syndrome and am deathly afraid of capsizing, so I have to be satisfied with a meager tilt. If you push the Pikatti underneath the hull of the boat, it helps keep the kayak going in a straighter direction, much like performing a J-stroke in an open canoe, minimizing frequent switching of sides when paddling. With the boathouse in the background, you can see that I was able to quickly paddle the 50-yard distance across the lake using only the Pikatti. The Pikatti was easy to store, retrieve, then replace from underneath the bungees at either the front or from behind the seat. I am pleased that I won't have a long and bulky second paddle to transport. I'll have open access to the rear hatch and be comfortable knowing I can propel the kayak should I drop my paddle. Overall, I'm very pleased with this purchase.